Hi everyone. So, there's something that most people miss about this world, this reality. And I notice this a lot it's with pretty much everyone. Though what's interesting is that there's a certain group of people that somehow miss the really obvious. So, so if you're someone that has ever felt that the world needs to change, that it needs to get better, I ask that you consider this perspective. And also, you're someone who doesn't consider that point of making the world better to also consider the following as well. That there's a reason why the world is the way it is right now. It didn't just happen overnight, and it wasn't an accident or an act of randomness. There's a reason why the world is exactly the way it is right now. From all the problems you see, from everything that you could complain about, from all the horrors and destructions and inadequacies and limitations and things that disgust you, things that revolt you, things that irritate you, from let's say child abuse to wars to people's personalities and selfishness and how the environment is and how food is and how the water is and how animals are treated and um, how everything is done, from how money works, how things are built, from how things are sold, from how things are created, from how things are handled, from how things are seen and taught and shown and eaten and given, donated, sent, shipped, traveled, how countries are, how governments are, every single point in this existence, in this world, from families, from men, from women, from children, everything. How things exist right now. There's a reason why it exists right now, and the answer is fairly obvious. That it's who we are. That there is a lesson to be learned here about who we are, how we have lived, and how the way that we have lived has been creating the world exactly how it is today. Exactly, exactly, exactly. And if we don't learn our lesson and change to actually live in the way that would be the correction of the world, then I'll tell you that the world won't change whatsoever. You can have all the guns in the world, you can have all the force and all the power. You can complain as much as you want, you can write as many petitions and scream at people and riot and revolt and shoot people and kill people, and you can try to trick people, you can manipulate people, you can try to do everything in your power to have some sort of power or control over this reality to make it what you want. But that won't change anything. That will that won't be a real lasting change. Because like I said, the world is being created by each one of us. And unless we each change who we are, how we live, on a fundamental level of the decisions we make, why we make them, really the who we are within what we do. What is our starting point in what we do? That is what's determining the world out there. And that's the point we have to realize, that individually we have to live that for ourselves and for everyone. And from that point, the world will change. If you consider the world as the definition of everyone together here, if one person changes, the world as a collective has changed, because you are an equal part of the world. And not only that, you do have an influence and effect on other people. And part of the change that is needed is that you stand your ground, you stand your change until the end of time. And that kind of standing would have an influence across the ages, in the future of time, and even right here, right now, on many people that would actually contribute to changing things in the lives of others as well. And so it's important to realize that it's impossible to change the world if you do not change yourself. And so if you don't do that at the very least, then you are wasting your time. If you try to push for change out there in the world without changing yourself, then you've missed the whole point, the whole reason how and why we've gotten to the point we have right now. We've created this reality through the ages of time, through living out the same characters and personalities and patterns as all the people that went before us. And unless we actually stop, introspect, and realize what we're doing, how we're repeating the same, then nothing will ever change. You could vote whoever you want into in the political office. You can have a dictator, you can have any initiative, any movement whatsoever, but that's not the movement that's needed. The movement that's needed is within yourself to actually change who you are. And then from that starting point, yes, you can push for a change out there in the world. You can make that difference, but realize that that could only be a solution that could work if such people such as yourself, who have changed themselves, actually stands as the pillars, as the executives, as the administrators, as the people who will be in charge, people who you can rely on, people who will be carrying out the solution, the change, the leaders, the people who actually you will trust day in and day out to actually carry out the work that is needed. Those people, yes, they could be the first ones to stand as examples, to actually be in charge of that, of the change in the system, that are carrying out the duties and responsibilities in the work. You can't have a reality where no one has changed and you vote in the same people and you have the same people do the same work, because that won't work, because people are going to be corrupted. They're going to be falling. They're going to not show up for work. They're not going to actually carry out things effectively. And we need effective people. We need people who are reliable, who are trustworthy, who will be able to carry out the work that's needed to be done. And then, yes, that would be a first step. A first step where the world has changed in a fairly significant way that would impact the lives of everyone. Even if the work is done by a few people, those few who, yes, they will need the support of the majority. They will need to show who they are. They will need the majority of people to realize who they are and support them within taking up that position of responsibility to carry out the work that needs to be done. But again, in that situation, the majority hasn't yet changed, but they have the examples, they have the leaders, they have the few who are showing day in and day out the work that they're doing and who they are, that they can be relied on for supporting everyone in a change in the system that would support everyone. This would likely mean economic change or some sort of political change, or that would influence how money is, how supplies are given out, how things are distributed, from how support is given. Support, because really money, all that stuff I said is support. How support is given to each one to make sure it's effective, efficient, and reliable, trustworthy, and consistent. And that would be the work that needs to be done. How are we going to support one another? That's the real point. And really, we have all the resources, all the tools that we need. We have all the building blocks right here, the material. The only point that is missing is the organization, is the human effort, is the point that we put our effort into in the material to make it to something that is supportive, is beneficial, is effective. And so, if you are one of those who will stand up first to be an example, to take on the work, to be a leader, then good, because we need that. If no one stands up, the world will surely stay exactly the way it is. You'll need a few to be that example and then show who they are to the majority, and take on that point of responsibility and power that will come with politics, that will come with being in a work, being in a position, in a system, and working as the system within it to actually make sure support is given out that is effective for each one. And that will, in time, guarantee a change in the system. And the generations of humanity, as the young grow old, that there will be a fundamental change that will surely happen through time in the long term. By that point, it would be almost guaranteed. Just as you would make a commitment to grow a tree in your garden, even though you started as a sapling, that who you are as someone reliable to make the commitment and change, to actually take care of the tree, the sapling, it will surely grow to a tree. With your care, dedication, and attention, it will happen. And that's the lesson we have to learn as humanity. Who among us is actually living that principle? That care, the respect, that honor for life, the willingness to actually live it in action and breath, and who you are, day in and day out, for all of time. That is what we need. That is what will keep the reality not only stable, not only working, but into something that's marvelous, something that would be stupendous. Because that's where amazing acts of living, of creation could exist. Because within our group, within togetherness, standing within our individual points, working together, we accomplish so much. And we fail to see that. The potential of life we could live. And that could only come from living as committed individuals to life. You get what you sow, you reap what you sow. You will receive great things for what you've put in. But that will only come for those who are deserving, who actually care, who actually take the action, who actually put in the effort, who actually are the ones that will do it. And they would do this so unselfishly because there's no guarantee in this life. So those are the ones we need. The ones that will act unconditionally. The ones that will give. The world isn't forever. Unless there are ones who actually will stand forever in the test of time. The world is only and ever has been a reflection of who we are, of all the people that are on this earth. That is who we are. See who we are working here at Destiny. We are committing to be those leaders, to be the ones. It will support you to be the one if you make that choice. To walk the long journey. To what it means, to realize what it means to be life and what life is. We're there. We've always been there.